Hi, it's Cathy from inkingitupwithcathy.com, and I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up, and we have made it day 12 of my 12 Days of November Holiday Ideas series. So this card is kind of a wow factor card, and I did this at an event recently, and everybody loved it, so I thought I'd share it with everybody on my YouTube channel. So what you'll need, the main stamp set actually is this one here, the More Than Autumn stamp set. And what you will need is the whipped cream, the cup, the gingerbread, the straw, and the candy cane. I think that's it from that stamp set. From this stamp set, the Peaceful Season stamp set, it is the Thinking of You with Warm Feelings and a Wish for All the Merriest. That one there. In the More Than Autumn dies, you're going to need, I've got my dies all pulled, so let's get them out so you see which ones we need here. So you're going to need the cup, you're going to need the whipped cream, the little gingerbread, the candy cane, and the straw, okay? From the Peaceful Season die, oh, I'm sorry, bring that back because another important die is this Nothing's Better Than die, and you'll need that one as well. That's an important piece. We're going to definitely need that. The Peaceful Season dies. You're going to need the Christmas. Okay, so the Christmas and the Christmas matting dies. And then from the Everyday Details dies, you're going to need this frame, and it is the second largest or the third smallest, depending upon how you want to look at it, but you need that, okay? So let's, for inks, you're gonna need the Memento Black and Real Red inks. For blends markers, you're gonna need the Light Tones 900, the Pecan Pie Light and Dark, and the Real Red Dark. And then we're going to need for cardstock a piece of Real Red that measures 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, your standard card base. You're going to need a piece of basic white that is 4 by 5 1/4, and it is embossed with the So Swirly embossing folder. But before you do that, I recommend that you make your cut before, because sometimes cutting after your embossing causes some tearing. So go ahead and do your cut first. The cut is made, let's see, this is 1 1/4 inches up from the bottom, and you're going to cut between a 1/2 inch from this end to a 1/2 inch from that end. So if you want to know measurements, you're going to cut from a 1/2 inch up to 4 3/4 inches, okay? And that's at 1 1/4 inch up from the bottom. And then go ahead and use your So Swirly embossing folder. Your next piece is going to be a Real Red piece, and this is 1 1/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and it is cut the same way, except for it's cut 5/8 of an inch from the top, and again from a 1/2 inch here to 4 3/4 inch there. So those two. And then this candy cane DSP is from the Snowy Scenes Designer Series paper. And this piece measures 1 inch by 5 1/4, and it is cut a 1/2 inch up between the 1/2 inch and 4 3/4. You're going to need 2 pieces of red that measure 1 by 5, and I'm going to do some cutting on one of them, but we'll do that as we're assembling the card. You're going to need a piece of real red that is 2 by 3 1/2, and you'll do the same size of basic white and then use that Essential Details die and cut that out. You're going, oh, I didn't mention these dies. This die here from the Peaceful Season as well. Sorry about that. So you're going to need to cut that. Now that piece, you can use, let's see, a piece that's 1 inch by 3 3/4 inches, and you'll die cut that out. You're going to want to die cut the word Christmas, and these pieces in order to die cut would be 4 inches by, it's tied at 1, so I would put 1 1/4 inches for these. This one is cut out of real red, and the matting is cut out of basic white. What I did do is I put the adhesive sheets on the back before I die cut this one to make it easier. And I've gone ahead and taken the eye, the dot of the eye, and set that down onto here so it doesn't get lost. So just keep track of that little dot so you don't lose it. So we've got those. You've got a small piece of white that you're going to die cut the Nothing's Better Than. For the inside of the card, you're going to have a 4 inch by 5 1/4, our standard inside panel. And a strip, this is from the Take a Bow DSP. You could also use the candy cane if you'd like, if you want to stay with the Snowy Scenes DSP. And this is 3/4 inch by 5 1/4 inches. And then I just have a 1/4 inch strip by 5 1/4 inch strip, which is going to go above that. I know there's a lot of pieces to this, but it's a really cute card once you're done. A little piece here that is 1 inch by 1 1/2 inches. And then you'll need, a second piece that is this 2 by 3 1/2 of basic white. And that one you don't have to die cut out. That one we're actually going to be doing the stamping of the various pieces that we need and die cut. And I did this ahead of time for this so that it doesn't take up too much time. But what you're going to need is 2 candy canes, a gingerbread man, a straw, and then the whipped cream and the cup, all out of that one piece. And then finally, you'll need a piece of baker's twine, which measures about 10 inches. All right, let's do our stamping first. So I'm going to get that all out of the way. The first bit of stamping we'll do is the inside of our card with the real red. And that's the Thinking of You. like that. So that's all done. With the Memento Black, we're going to stamp the cup first, down at the bottom here of this piece. And like I said, you'll be also on that, creating that second one over here. I think what I'll do is I'll show you what all you need to stamp on that piece, and then just bring the die cut and colored ones. Okay, so over here, we need a cup, like that. We're gonna need some whipped cream here, and this one I'm gonna set right down onto my cup and line those up, just like that. They are going to be die cut out separately, so we can put it over like that. Our straw here is going to line up like that. On here, you can put it separate. And then over here, you'll do a candy cane twice and a gingerbread once. Okay. So that's all of our stamping. So these you'll die cut out, and those are the ones that I've got here. So then we'll start our coloring. Oh, we have one more piece. I'm sorry. This piece here, we're going to stamp this center section of the cup. And you'll actually want 2 of those. And I already have the other one cut out. Otherwise, this would be a very, very long video. Wow, this got thick. Okay, let's cut this real quickly. So I'm just cutting those like that. Okay. So for the coloring of the gingerbread, all I did is used the pecan pie dark and then came back with the real red dark and just touched along the little arms and the legs and his smile and the dots, okay? And then on the straw, I did a candy striping as well as on the peppermints. So here I'll do the candy striping on the straw. Just like that. So the 900 is going to be the whipped cream, and I think I'm going to use the brush end. Super quick. And then for the cup, I'm going to go around the outside edge with the dark. To give some shading. And then I'll come back in with the light. Now I'll go over the whole thing once with the light. And then I'm going to kind of blend along those shaded areas, trying to keep this center section from getting hit more than one time, if that makes sense. I don't want to go over that more than once. And what that does is it gives me a light spot like this. And so that gives you some idea of that there is light and dark to your, your coffee, I guess is what that is. All right, so we're gonna go here. And then around, and I'm not going to worry about if I go down into this because that's actually going to be covered. So that's the dark. Then I'm going to come back with the light. And again, go over a section just one time and kind of in an oval, not, okay, and we'll let that dry. Okay, so most of our preparation is done. The one other item that I did not mention that you need are the adhesive strips, but if you don't have these, it can also be done with dimensionals. So let's get the inside of the card made because that's the easy part. Place that there. And I'm going to use liquid glue here because it'll be easier to attach this. Okay, that's the inside of the card. So let's start doing some assembly of the outside. So we'll attach this. Here. Just like that. And then one of these we'll take and attach right here. Okay. And then our little gingerbread man, wherever he is. Hello, there he is. He's going to go right here. Okay. So we can set that to the side. Now we're going to, let's go ahead and attach our Christmas here. Now for this, I recommend that you only take the backing off a few letters at a time so that you can kind of control where it lands and it doesn't get stretched out. So I'm going to just pull off the C and the H for right now and just kind of tuck it behind here. And I can control where they land, just like that. Now I'll pull the R and the I and starting the S. Okay, just a few of them at a time. And then I can control better where they end up sitting down on my paper. Just like that. Now we'll do the T and the M. And just kind of work them one letter at a time. And then finally the A and the S. and the little end. Okay. And then I'm going to burnish that so that those stick down well. Okay. So this one, let's go ahead and glue this on here. Just like that. And we'll set that to the side. Okay. These 3 pieces here, now these need to stack together and keep these lines, these slits together so something will fit through it. So what I found is best to do is to get a piece of paper that is, you know, scrap, I guess, and make it so we're in between a 1/2 inch and 4 3/4 inches. So you want something about 4 inches long. Let me get this up here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just cutting this at 4 inches, and then I am going to score it halfway, just like that. And this is going to be my guide. Going to fold this up, take my base one and slide it on there just like that, so it sticks up like that. Okay, now I'm going to put adhesive on the back of my real red one. And I'm going to slide that on there. Just like that. Okay. Make sure it gets all the way on there. And slowly slide it down. And making sure that not only does it meet on the ends here, but this stays kind of straight up and down. Okay, so we've got that one pressed down, and now we're going to repeat the process with this candy cane one. And I'm going to slide that on. And again, like the other, kind of line it up, keeping this straight up and down, and press that down. Okay, so that is set. Now I have to be a little bit creative because I am not in my craft room working, and I don't have a few items, one of which is a 1 inch or 3/4 inch circle punch. But I did find that I do have this little circle die from the Unbounded Love dies. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to cut a little circle off the end of this piece. So I'll do that off camera and be right back with you. Okay, so I've got that cut. The next thing we can do is this piece here, we can attach down right above this here, and bringing this out to the right, just to the edge, just like that. And then the nothing's better than is going to get glued down to that. Now, I would recommend, I didn't do it, but I would recommend you using double-sided adhesive with this. So The adhesive sheets work better, obviously, than this, but if you have something like this, the way that I do and get glue on the back of it is to put some glue onto your silicone mat and then just kind of wiggle back and forth on your die and press your die into that glue. Oops, not like that. Until you get some glue on it. And then that will dry, let that dry on your silicone mat, and then you can rub it off. But we're gonna put the nothing's better than right here. Just like that. Now, if you end up with a little bit of stickiness after this has dried from the glue, just take your embossing buddy and kind of run over it a little bit, and that will take away that tackiness. Okay, so we've got, the next thing is we've got these two pieces of 1 inch by 5 inch. And I'm gonna have you bring your cutter out, or I'll bring mine and you can watch. How's that? I'm gonna bring this right here. And on one of them, I am going to cut 1/4 of an inch from the edge down only 1/2 inch, okay? So just 1/2 inch down, and that's it. So halfway down. Then I'm going to move this over to 3/4 of an inch. And again, I'm going to cut 1/2 inch down. So what I've got is I've got a little slit there and a little slit there. I'm going to take this piece, keeping this one on top and being on the left-hand side. I'm going to put liquid glue on everywhere except that little tab. So we're going to glue like this. So as you can see, I don't have any glue in that section there. And then this is going to come right down and attach to the other one, just like that. And so now what you can see is this little tab is not glued, but everything else is. Now again, I don't have a little hole punch. So what I have found is I have this die set with me, which is the Greetings of the Season dies. And these tags do have this little hole. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this in like this and die cut that little hole from the end here. Now, let's get this here. I'm gonna even mark this so you can see it. The tab is right here, okay? And I want to put the hole down at this end. Okay, so I'm gonna do that off camera again. Okay, so what I've got here is the little hole punched. I'm gonna take the twine and I'm going to double it and then put it through here. So I'm going to put it through here and then loop it around and tie a knot. When you pull, make sure you support this little area here. And then I'll take my scissors cut that loop. Okay. So now I've got my little tab over here and this line. I'm going to take my word Christmas. I'm going to glue it down. Here. Now I want this as far to the right as I possibly can. So I'm going to squish that hole up in that little depression there on the Christmas. So I can get that over there as far to the right as I can. Okay, let's go ahead and put our card inside. And I think since my smudge is over here on the right, I'm going to put this over here and hopefully I can hide it. So I'm going to put my cup here. Normally I always put things on the left, but since I've got that smudge there on the right side, we're going to make an attempt to hide that. I think we can with the candy cane. And I'm going to sneak this up inside the cup a little bit, just like that. I'm going to put my straw over here on the right side, slide that in, and put a candy cane in right over that smudge, just like that. And then normally I'd put a candy cane here, but I think I'm going to put it over here because I used one of them up here. So we'll put that there. So there's the inside of my card. Okay, that's good to go. All right, now for this assembly. We've got these pieces left. I'm going to turn this over, and I've got some marks on the back here that you can see. What I'm going to do is take this here, and this little tab is going to slide up through that slot. So you can kind of pull it out here forward and slide it up. So now you can see it on the front of the card there. And you're going to push that as far to the this direction that you can. And we're going to take the adhesive sheet or the adhesive strips. We'll take one of those. And we're going to go right above this line here with it, and then we can trim it. And this piece, the rest of it can go here. I'll take another one and run it down the bottom here and snip it. I'm going to run this along the top like that. And then this final one, I'm going to take a piece that's about that long and place it here. And then I want to make sure I put a little bit here so that this does not drop like that. Okay, so that it doesn't have to be really long, just another shorter piece. And that is going to go right there below, okay? So this should be able to move just fine without So I'm going to take off just this top one to start. Okay, and I'm going to secure this down from the bottom and not really press that top area. And I'm going to just test to make sure that that moves freely. And when I know it does, then I'll push down. Make sure this is straight, and I'll push down on that top one. And now I'll reach back and remove the next kind of layer of them, which will be those side panel ones. And holding on to this thing so it doesn't move. We'll just go ahead and remove all of these. And we'll press down, and you're going to test again and make sure that this comes out there and goes back and forth. Now, yeah, there it goes. Okay. Now, all that we have left to do is pull up on that tab a little bit, get that up in there, and we're going to glue this down to that tab. So you're going to use liquid glue, and you really want to press on this thing and get that to set up well. Now, in order for it to show the word Christmas, that can't be too far over this way, otherwise it's going to disappear, which means this has to be all the way out at the far end of the card. Okay, so when we do this, we're going to make sure that this tab is as far this direction as we can. We're going to put glue on it. Okay. Now we're going to take this side, and it's going to go right along the side here. Okay, and you can decide how high up or down you want it to be, but it needs to be over here to the side. And we're going to press on that, and you can test it just a little bit, but I want you to just not really work it hard until you give it a little bit of time. And then let's go ahead and decorate it up while we're waiting with a couple of the little peppermints. So we'll put a medium one there, and a small there, and a small there. So now our card says nothing's better than Christmas. So I hope you like that card for the 12th day of November. Thanks for joining me for this series.